more, please? Yes, absolutely. That's a really great question. So when you apply for a green card, right, when you apply for a green card based on marriage, what you have to do is show that it is a real marriage and it's not just for immigration purposes, right? So if you're applying for a green card based on marriage, one of the things you have to prove is that it's a real marriage and it's not just for immigration purposes. And so for each couple, that might look different, right? It might look a little bit different depending on your particular marriage and how things kind of work in your marriage. But I can tell you some of the strongest documents in this type of green card case. So what you want to include are things, what I like to include are things like showing joint residence. So if you bought a house together and both your names are on a mortgage, that's really helpful. If you live in an apartment and you have both your names on the lease, make sure it's a signed lease. This is something that USCIS is coming back with more and more often and asking for more and more often. So a signed lease, for example, for an apartment, and then maybe showing rent payments that are being made. Speaking of sort of financial transactions, maybe a bank account, showing that it's being used. You just don't want to have a bank account that you're putting $1,000 in and no one's ever using, right? You want to show that it's an actual account that's being used where money is coming in from both parties and it's being paid for. Things are being subtracted by both parties, okay? Maybe joint credit cards if you have that, putting both your names on a credit card and seeing that there are actual transactions happening. Then other just creative ideas are things like, are you listing your spouse as a life insurance beneficiary, as an emergency contact at work? Photographs, of course, are helpful. We also get statements from friends and family that were at your wedding or that know you as a couple or that have vacationed with you or spent time with you. Joint travel itineraries. So if you travel together, somewhere, and you can show your ticket, both of your tickets, or you book that ticket together, that can also be very helpful. And I think I already mentioned photographs, but it's photographs with other people, right? So not just the two of you, but maybe parents and other friends. So these are all great pieces of evidence for something like a bona fide marriage. So you'll want to have that evidence when you first apply. So you want to send photocopies when you first apply for the application. Then when you go for that green card interview, you want to have updated evidence of bona fide marriage. So that could be new pictures or new things that happen, like your tax return that you file now as a married couple, which maybe you didn't for the previous year because you hadn't been married long enough, or you hadn't been married at the time you were filing your taxes. So different things like that you just want, or maybe you have a new bank account or you bought a new car or anything like that, that shows your status.